Hey guys, so today what we're going to be making is the bench project that you see in front of me. I've originally been used for last semester of year 10s, and I thought I'd go through how to make it on Autodesk Inventor. So you can see here that I've got it as a variety of different parts to make it easier to differentiate what's what, and then scrolling through I've broken down each of those parts to create a drawing of that kids are going to be able to follow to create their own version. And/or create this version if different things or different factors come into play. So now we're opening up Autodesk Inventor. I want to go new, metric, standard millimeters, because we're going to be creating our parts, okay? So yeah, just going to chuck this over on the second screen, because you guys don't need to see it anymore. So now essentially what we're going to make first, though, is actually probably the easiest bit, and it's going to be the base section. So I'm probably going to keep dragging this in between, but we've got this base here. Oh, I shouldn't say base, but the two frames either side that we use for holding the slats as well. So we're going to be working through making those first up. So we're going to make the easiest bit first, like I generally like to do. So we're going to start off with a rectangle, and this rectangle is going to be 540 millimeters by 60 millimeters. Clicking in the middle when that goes green. So what do we want? 540, tab 60. And we've got our rectangle that we need. Now, just like with most things, I'm really sorry, that's not meant to be 60, that's meant to be 70. Apologise, I was reading the wrong measurement. So, like lots of these things, we want to make sure we're using standard size timbers. So, the size of this is our normal 70 by 19, so 3D model extrude, and we want to extrude this 19 millimeters, okay? Okay, so we've got our base there, so that's, if you can imagine, that's just our normal straight piece of pine. We're going to sketch on top of this though, and we're going to cut out some rectangles into it, and these rectangles are going to be, sorry, 60 mils across by 9 mils wide, okay? So first thing I'm actually going to do, I'm going to quickly do a line in the middle, just like that. We're going to quickly do a rectangle over here. And we're actually just probably going to mirror this across. So if I go 9, tab 60, enter, and make sure we dimension from there to there, and that's going to be 5, fantastic. And we're going to dimension it from there to there, and that's also going to be 5. Okay, and then all we need to do, okay, I can highlight that, and I can go mirror. This is a faster process when I can see where mirror is. Over here, select our mirror line, that one, apply, done. 3D model, extrude. I'm going to extrude these. It's already set at 19. I just need to make sure I select cut. And then if I go to the very top bit, you can see there that it goes all the way through. So those are the two mortises, I should say, for the top and the bottom of our frame there. And as well as, so I'm actually going to quickly go to tools, materials, I'm going to quickly change the color of these, because like I was saying before, we just want to make sure, Jara, just going to set these just so it's easier to see what they are. I'm literally just using Jara though as well, because I think it's cool. Let's save this. So we're going to be in our Inventor files. We're going to create a new folder. It's going to be called bench. And sweet, let's open that. And let's go to here. I'm going to base of frame. Cool. Probably not the exact thing that you might want to call it. But like at the end of the day, I know what that means. So, and I like to leave them down here, as you guys probably noticed from watching other videos. I like to leave all the different parts down there so I know where I'm at. Another beauty of this part actually stays the same, so I can use it for the top and the bottom. Other bits I actually need to make individually in this because there are angles involved. So now I need to go up to new, make sure we're checking standard millimeters again. So metric, standard, sorry, millimeters, metric, create, and starting our next part. Next part we're going to be doing is the actual tenons for this this part here. So these are actually the grand total size of these is 650 by and made out of our 70 by 19 again. So just like previously, we are going to go like that, and we're going to go 650 tab 70 to make our blank 70 by 19 piece of material. So 3D model extrude again, and making that 19 and pressing enter. So now we've done that. So what we can do, so there's two things we need to cut out of this. We need to cut a slot out. So as you'll see in the drawing here, this actually slots in. So we can flip this one around. So this one's fine because there is no angle on it. This is a square frame. I've actually just made the bottom as well. The top bit there, you can see that actually has a recess in it, so we will have to make a separate one of those that has that fitting. So I've made the bottom. We're now making this leg, I'd probably call it here. So we do need to cut out here, and we need both the tenons for the bottom there. So we might actually start off with the tenons, because they're probably going to be the easiest bit. So we're going to do the same thing either side. And if you guys have ever seen me make tenons before, but it's super easy. Just to make one rectangle, you offset this one. Whoa, I want to offset like that. 5, enter, and then you're pretty well done. You can go 3D model, extrude. Just be careful to select the outside. We're going to cut it in, and we're going to go OK, and then we can flip around to the other side. Boom. And we're going to do the same thing. Sketch on here, make a rectangle, because we do need that pattern on the outside, or else it won't work for us. And then offset 5, 3D model, extrude. Whoa, see, that's the problem there. So if you're too far away, sometimes it really doesn't like it. You do need to zoom in a little bit to actually get that angle on the edge, or else you'll make that same mistake I did. Okay, so now the middle bit that we need to be cutting out. So we know this is going to be 19 mils thick, so let's draw on here. So part of this as well is we need to be pretty precise with their measurement. And we're actually going from the, I'm just seeing here on the drawing that I've got two different measurements here. One from the 19 millimeters from the actual, where I stopped the tenon. And the other one's actually from right at the end, so here, as opposed to here. And so I'm probably going to go from here, and it's 315 in. So let's make another rectangle over here. Need to make sure you're careful not to, need to make sure you're careful not to make it, like click on the green dot that comes up in the middle. Is important. So 19 millimeters wide, and then we're going half, so it's going to be 35. Right, so 35 of the total 70, and then we're going to be going to that edge there, dimension from there to there, and we want it 315. Okay, so that's a little bit lopsided from the middle, but I mean, that is for holding that. So the reason that is because we're a little bit lower because we have the plank sitting across it. So I'll bring this over here. We have those planks sitting across it, and that's going to bump it up a little bit and make it more or less in the middle there where you're actually sitting to this. So that's why, whoops, I shouldn't have done that. That's why we do that. Yeah, so we've done that. We can go 3D model, extrude. And we're going to cut that out, 19 mil. So that's all good there. Go to tools here. We're going to go to materials, and let's go to use some tier 3 language and go to radiata pine. Make sure you can get the right stuff, and we can go save. Actually, just going to call this leg because there's nothing else in this that actually even looks like a leg. And go okay. Now let's start a new one, just like we have before. So now here's where it's getting a little bit tricky. We're going to do the top sections of the drawing. So what I can actually do is, I'm going to go base of frame, and we're going to go here, and we're going to go to file, and we're going to go save as, and we're going to go top left frame, and we're going to save. And we've got our new one here. I can also open, so you should still have this is annoying. So we've still got our base of frame, we've got our top left of frame. Don't need that new one. And we're just going to go back to this top left of frame. So now we need to start cutting out the sections for this to have the angled back on them. We're not going to do that there. We're going to have to come around here because I want to cut a nice angle in. And we're going to sketch on that one there. So let's cut a 19mm wide cut and halfway in on that 5-degree angle or 85-degree angle, whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to start by doing is, how far are we from the edge? That's something I haven't actually put on this, annoyingly. So what we're going to be doing is putting a line here. Going to make sure we're not snapping to anything. So you see how that can snap to that line here. We don't want to do that. We're going to come over here and we'll go on a bit of an angle like that. I'm going to quickly dimension this. So we're going to go from this point here to that point there. We're going to make that 30mm. We're then going to quickly dimension this one and that one there. Whoa, see, I accidentally clicked on that. Frustrating. And I accidentally clicked in the middle. Not working for me. Alright, 65, we want it to be 85. Alright, we only want a 5-degree angle, so we want a very small angle, okay? We can actually offset this as well. We can offset that this way. I'm going to offset it by 19. You can kind of see how that's a little bit high. We can move it down. Line. And we've actually got almost set up there. We've got our, whoa, I don't know why I zoomed in so much. Oh, because that's selected. And you see there. And so we'll cut this. We'll see how well we did actually lining this one up. So pulling that down by eye is actually quite hard to get it exact. So we'll actually see how that goes. I'm going to cut that. Let's cut it 35. And we actually did a really good job. I shouldn't be acting so surprised, but I'm very surprised. Alright. So yeah, that works out really well. And we've cut that out perfectly there. So now the problem is, because we've got that angle, we can't just share this both sides. So if that's going to be our left side, we need to make another one with that coming in from the other side, so we have that shared angle. Sorry. So now we've saved this, we can go File, Save As, and we'll quickly call this top right. Okay, so now we've got our top right is what we're calling it. So we actually take this though, I'm going to edit this cut. Right clicking on here, edit sketch. Definitely not editing sketch, what am I doing? I need to edit the feature. And we're going to cut this all the way through and go okay. So now we've got this funky looking thing sitting there in the middle of nowhere. Let's add another drawing to it. So now essentially I just want to fill up this side, so I can go rectangle, up here, down to there, 3D model extrude. We're going to go direction 2, we're going to have it fill in, we're going to make this be 35. So that way it's stopping halfway like that, and we've successfully made our right side. Okay, and it should, we can always check. I mean, it looks right. We can always have a double check in here. I think we can do that with these here. Checking that's 85, which is awesome. And we can check how far apart these are, which is 19. So we know they're all finito. I'm going to get rid of that sketch I just created that I don't need. But yeah, just easy way, just always double checking before we do anything else, just to make sure that is right. Okay, fantastic. So now what we need to do is press save on that again, just to make sure. So we've got both of those. Next step, we could move on to some other easy stuff. We could do a slat, or we could do our base rail that all the slats sit on. But we might actually do our back rest. We need 2 of those that we can do. So we go new. Can't do any tricks with this one. We can't copy anything over and then make small changes, unfortunately. Okay, so the total size of this one's going to be 500. So making a rectangle. And like I've pointed out, we're liking to use 70 by 19. So actually, did I make? Yeah, I have made them all colors. Whoops. Get out of that. Cool, so they're all colored. Okay, so 500 by 70 is what we want. There is an angle on the bottom of this one, but because they're both the same and just have slats going across, we don't need to worry about that too much. So let's do a 19. And let's cut some of these slats within it. So essentially what we're having is a so we're going to have 42 by 19 slats going across with a 42 gap in between, and the bottom gap's actually going to be bigger than because it doesn't work out with 500, but that's kind of the nice height that I wanted. So we're going to start aiming for that. Quickly though, I'm just going to double check exactly what is just check exactly all the different sizes. So we're essentially, actually I got it wrong. We're going 42, 40, 42, 40 with our sizes here. So what we're going to do though is I'm going to show you a little bit of a different way of doing this, and that's using the hopefully we're going to be able to use the mirror. Is it the mirror tool? No, it's not the mirror tool, it's the rectangle tool. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go 42, tab 9.5. So we're going halfway of our 42 by 19 and going enter. Now what we should be able to do is highlight this bad boy here, use a rectangle tool, geometry, alright, and we're going to go direction 1, hit select that, take it back, reverse that around, we're going to go that way, and we're going to have spacings be 40, and the amount we're going to do is, how many did I have on my original drawing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. And I think the spacing is definitely going to be bigger than 40. Oh, I'm being silly. It's going to be like 82, isn't it? Yeah. So essentially, because what it wants to do is actually copy it straight on top of the original profile, so you need to take that into account, which I obviously did not think about. So it's taking that and then taking it over 40, and then if I'm always about double checking, and that's 48 there. Okay, so that's really good. That's what we wanted. And we can go 3D model, extrude. Let's cut these bad boys out. One other thing I need to have a Google of is how to like do multiple of them at the same time. Because I should learn that, because that'll speed up my workflow. Now what we need to remember is at the front, so we need to cut one more angle at the bottom, because this does have a 5-degree lean on it to give it a bit of ergonomics. So I can click again on the side here, and we're actually going to do it just right on the edge. We're going to go from there. We'll just go like that, and we'll quickly go dimension here. 25. Sweet. And so that's actually the only really important measurement you need to know on that, because everything else is just grabbing, like you can see there, grabbing to the sides. 3D model, extrude. I'm going to cut and go OK. Now this is one of the pine bits as well, so we can quickly go up here to tools, materials, radiator pine, assign that. Cool, and that looks really good. And like I said before, we don't need to make 2 of these. We can save that. Back, rest, save. Okay, cool. So now we have our leg, we have our base, we have our top like armrest, we have our backrest, and that's a previous drawing from our backrest as well. We're going to be creating a similar thing of later. So I definitely don't need that open now. Okay, so now we're looking at what we might need to put together next. And let's put together some the seat rests. Let's do that. So need to make a new. Have I saved that? Yes, I have. Make a new one. Standard millimeters. Create 2D sketch. Okay, so this again is made out of a 70 by 19. Trying to be consistent there. It's going to be 540. Tab 70. Enter. Alright. So we've got that one there. Now this one has some cool cutouts and stuff to slide into the legs. So we're going to extrude this to our 19. And then we're actually assigning this one's going to be a dark timber as well. So I might do that sooner rather than later. Because we are going to be putting a few... We're going to be putting some holes and stuff in this. Might make it a little bit easier to see them. Not that it's going to make too much of a difference. Okay, so what we're actually going to do first is cut out our slots in the ends. And because this should be all lining up perfectly, we don't actually need to have two of these. We can flip them around, so that should be fine. Anyway, let's quickly make a line down the middle, just because we do like speeding things up by using the mirror tool, even though this process actually is not complicated whatsoever. So I'm going to go 19, tab, 35, enter. I'm going to highlight that. We're going to mirror across that, apply, done, 3D model, extrude. Sometimes it's those real, like I was saying before with the learning how to do the multiple extrude option, it is all about speeding up your workflow. Any minor thing that you can do to improve that is really important. So now we're going to select the face of this. And as kids in my class have noticed, I really do like through dowels. I like using dowels as a feature. I think they're just a cool thing that you can show. So what we're going to do now though is go here. So it made our nice line there because these are going to line up in the middle there. And then we need to start making some, making some circles. We're going to be using our standard dowels, so they're going to be 9.5. Now, we can't, we might be able to pattern these actually. Might give you a go patterning these, and hopefully I don't waste too much of your guys' time doing so. 36.5, and then the width of these apart is going to be 35. So we do have our line here that we can use, and then we just need to think our distance apart from that says it's going to be 73. So let's give it a go. Nothing to it but to do it. Let's go with rectangle. We've got our geometry. So now we're going to go to direction. We're going to select this, that direction. Let's try was it 73? 73. And how many do we want to make? One. Oh, we already got one. Oh, no, so that means 2, 4, 5. Make 5. Alright, so that's incorrect. So, assuming that that hasn't added on the actual distance apart there, so I could make that, add 35 to that, and we'll see how that looks. So that's going to be 108. 108. Ooh. Did I just quick maths that? Let's double check everything, because I'm nervous that that's incorrect. Alright, well that stayed at 35. Dimension, let's see how far it is from the end. So it's 36.5. Oh my gosh. I'm a mathematical genius. Fantastic. Alright, let's delete this. Whoops, sorry. Need to get rid of that tool. Delete that. Oh, we can't delete that. Stop. So you can't delete that because that's what's holding all the geometry for all of our holes. So now we can go 3D model, extrude. And let's cut out some of these holes. Annoyingly, see, so it's gonna do that for every. No, it wasn't. So if I click on that and that, so angling on the edge, that's speeding up our workflow a little bit that way. Fantastic. Oh no, stuffed it up. Oh, almost missed some. Fantastic. I'm super happy with that. Okay. Now we've got our 3Ds. They are looking schmick. Alright, so like I said, 3Ds we can use on both sides, and that is awesome. So let's save that. Saving that as C rail. Going to use some capitals. I know that is really annoying. Look at that, backrest lowercase, top lowercase, but the rest of it nicely capitalized. So that's annoying. But anyway, we'll fix that up at a later date. Let's make the bits that actually sit on top of these now. What's the length of a video? So we're at 26 minutes, so we're going to finish this up ASAP, okay? So let's make, we're not going to make the slats for the back because I'm probably going to measure that before I do it. So let's go new, metrics, 10 millimeters, create, and go over here. Okay, so now let's crank out our 42 by 19. It is not 42 by 19. What am I saying? This is 70 by 19 timber. Okay, so let's quickly go here and we're going to go, I'm pretty sure I've changed the length of this. We're going to make it 1000. In this original drawing it is 1200. I think I wanted to make it so if a student wanted to make it out of pallets they could, and pallet timber's length is normally a little bit over 1000, so you can trim those kind of split ends up, which they generally have. 3D model extrude. And let's extrude that 19. So it kind of goes both ways. Pallet timber you can get to about 25, run it through the thicknesser, you can get it down to 19. So we're quickly going to go to tools, materials, type in our radiata to get our radiata pine, and then we're going to do the same trick we did before. So we're going to make a line at our middle point just there, going down. We're going to make our holes. So these holes are going to be 35 apart. What does that mean? My language from the edges, I think that's 17 something. 7.5. Alright, cool. Good job, brain. Alright, 9.5. Make another one. Oh, I did not line that up. So it's always easier. Remember, guys, if you're lining up in the middle. 9.5. Awesome. Dimension. Let's dimension these bad boys out. 17.5. Do the same here. 17.5. Just to prove that my math is correct, we'll put that there. You see it's 35. Oh, I didn't think that would work because we don't really need it there. And then we're having them in the middle, so we know these need to be 35 as well. Alright, I like how that stays connected. When you connect that line in the middle, that's why I said it's important to do. It stays connected when you start dimensioning it as well. So now let's use the mirror tool, mirror line, boom, apply, done. Okay, so now we're just going to go 3D model extrude. Let's cut these guys out. Whoa. I wonder why it's letting me select that. I don't have like it's including that as a closed edge, it doesn't normally. So maybe that's a new inventor thing, you can start selecting those things. Cut those out, we've got our 3Ds, fantastic. Alright, now you can save that. C slat. See, rails, things sit on top of rails in construction terms, okay? So now we've made all our parts and we're going to start assembling them with the assembly tool, but I am way over what I normally like my videos to be. We've done quite a few different things, but yeah, so we're at almost 30 minutes, so we need to make sure we cut this off now, and then the next video I'm going to be putting these together in the assembly view.